What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, has anyone watched Ford Mastertech Moco and his 2023 Lightning EV truck and all his complaints? And he said, how did this pass at Ford's assembly line? How did it pass this QC inspection? How did this pass pre-delivery inspection? Why do you think that passed? Well, I'll tell you this. Because somebody somewhere said, don't worry about it because the customer will never know. Or, I don't give a fuck. I'm just punching the clock. Right? But it wasn't just one. It was multiple issues with the vehicle. And then in my head, it resonates that these assembly line manufacturer workers want a raise. Just like Tesla. You guys put cars together like shit and you let less quality products show up to your consumer. And Ford Mastertech Moco Loco called you out on it exactly. And he called it out at the dealership level. Like, you want to get paid all this money. Well, how come you're not executing your job 100%? You just kept passing it on. You didn't check it. You didn't look at it. Maybe you did. Maybe you don't have enough training. I don't know what the story is. But to have a brand new vehicle with 10 different issues is ridiculous. And I went through that with Tesla. Like, somebody has to quality check this before it reaches the consumer, right? But the average person doesn't know what a vehicle should or should not be or sound like. Some people, this is their first new vehicle. They've drove clunkers their entire life. So if they don't hear, anything, that's probably a good thing to them. It's a new car. But there is problems. There's engineering issues. There's assembly line issues. There's installation issues. There's fit and fitment issues. There's communication issues. There's software issues. And a guy like him called it right out, right from the top, right from the assembly line to the assembly line workers to shipping to the dealership and then having the dealership go through it, PDI, and all that shit was skipped. Same thing with Tesla. But then you want to demand top dollar for your work. Well, is that the American way? Do the least amount of work for the most amount of pay? Quality is lacking in our world. Quality is lacking. It just blows my mind. And I'm sure it's not only Ford and Tesla. I'm sure there's probably other parts of our industry for auto makers and manufacturers and assembly line workers that are like, no one will ever notice. But then when you get somebody who says, what the fuck is this brand new 2023 vehicle that has no mileage on it, have all these problems already? Well, know what he said? Yeah, it's going back and you're going to fix all this stuff. And if you don't fix it, you can keep the vehicle. It's kind of what I said to Tesla. I'm like, you're going to fix these 20 different problems that I drew all over the car with, or I'm not accepting the fucking car. Like, you can't ramrod this piece of crap on me that looks like somebody took it out of a model car box and put it together like they had no idea. Like, that's unacceptable. And then the lie about, the taillights are supposed to do that. No, you fucking liars. Like, don't train your people to lie to your customers either. That's shitty. But it burns me up. Like, you reward people with raises and good jobs and congratulations with the highest standards. Well, he just called out the brand new Premier line F150 EV Lightning that, in my opinion, he should have never experienced any of those issues, regardless if he is the best technician in the world. Only because he's dealt with certain things with other customers who buy new cars all the time and say, dude, this shouldn't sound like that. This is a brand new car. Or I shouldn't have a click and a chatter from my hub bearings and axles on turns. I shouldn't have fit and fitment issues. I shouldn't have door moldings making noise as I'm driving down the road. I shouldn't have imperfections in my door seals, or I shouldn't have dimples in my door cards. Yeah, that's what you expect when you buy a brand new car, let alone not having it burn oil, which he doesn't have to worry about. But one interesting thing he said about his new vehicle is that it serves his needs, meaning he would never buy that for a construction vehicle or a job site or anything like that. So his is probably a pure pleasure vehicle, which is here and there, because he knows that that vehicle cannot live up to the standards that they tried to sell the public, just like Tesla. And he's so glad that he only leased it for 2 years. You know why? Because it's not practical. And the batteries have not evolved enough. I think that's the language he said. And I agree with him. And it may take 10 or 20 years for that to happen at your cost. That they lie to you about you're going to get X amount of miles to a charge with loaded air conditioning, wipers. You're not. With every accessory on, with 6 passengers or 8 passengers, and a load in the trunk or the front trunk, they call it front trunk, and then you have the bed. That vehicle is never going to see its expected battery life unless you had someone pushing it or towing it. That's just my opinion. But kudos to him for calling out the auto manufacturers, the assembly line workers, and the dealership workers. And he said, I don't accept this. And I agree with you. Thanks for watching.